No.
You know, that's probably why you're a good guy.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like getting roasted and getting bullied can build up like a lot of rage inside, and you might develop into a serial killer. You know, like
who's to say I'm not? Who's to say I'm not?
I don't know. You know what? Why don't we talk about that today?
I learned everything I know from movies.
What movies?
Halloween movies. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the latest episode of the Leisure Hub Podcast. We are your spooky hosts, Justin and
Pedro, the spooky one. I'm actually the spooky one.
So one of I.
You're more Christmas.
I'm like the like the Temu version.
The what?
The Temu version.
The Temu version.
You know what Temu is, right?
No.
Okay.
No. What happened to Wish? Is that still a thing? A thing?
Yeah, why not?
Wish?
Yeah, it's a non-profit organization. So why wouldn't it be?
That's non-profit?
Make a Wish?
Wish, bro. Wish.
I thought you said Make a Wish.
No, but you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. Wish. Yeah.
You're fucking with me.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I think they still.
What
exist.
happened to them?
I think they still exist. I feel like people don't really talk about them all that much because people are like, yeah, you get terrible quality material from them. So why am I gonna? What if Temu or Wish just rebranded as Wish just rebranded as Temu?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know, but we will know. But what we do know, rather.
Okay. Yeah, I'm clearing my throat a lot.
We were laughing outside of this podcast.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That was a good laugh. What were we laughing about?
Tissue paper.
Bro, so Halloween movies, bro. So you say you learned everything you know from Halloween movies.
I learned everything I know from Halloween movies on how to be a serial killer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the latest episode of the Leisure Hub Podcast. We are the Spooky Pod Boys. As your guests, hosts,
bro. There's no guest. I mean, there might be a ghost host.
There might be a ghost host, but we are your hosts, Justin and
Pedro again.
You weren't supposed to say that again.
Okay, Pedro. You can cut it out. Bro.
Yeah, talk to me.
So,
everyone's watched Michael Myers, right?
I think so.
Halloween
movies. Halloween movies, specifically Michael Myers movies.
Yeah.
Bro, so since we were talking about bullies and people that roast other people, right? Do you think like those people are the ones that make people into like serial killers and or serial unalivers?
I don't know what you mean by that.
You know, like when somebody gets bullied a lot or get roasted a lot, do they build up a lot of rage inside and then they just want to get back at them? And
I mean, I think sometimes it's unprecedented. Like it doesn't derive from anything. Sometimes in Michael's case, it just derives from a mask.
So he gets his power from his mask.
That's what the theories are. You know, look, you look at some of the theories and you're like, and you see how his power can transfer from one person to another person just by wearing the mask. And they really show that in, what was it, Halloween 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the last one. And he was pretty much dying at that point.
He was like, in the gutter or something, like trying to like dragging himself or something.
Yeah, he was hiding in like some sewer thing, and some kid ended up finding him. And once he put the mask on, he started like he was almost getting like Michael's powers,
right?
In a way. So then they kind of like made sense as like, oh, Michael, the power that he has is from the mask. It's not from. He doesn't just have it.
Right.
You know.
So they usually describe Michael as being like the natural force of evil.
Yeah.
So like I guess you don't need like a past. You don't need like something to like a motive. You just are.
Yeah.
Like you're evil.
Yeah. But I was doing some research on Michael, you know, because, you know, obviously you watch Halloween, like you watch the recent ones, you watch the older ones, and like the story for a lot of horror movies genuinely aren't that great. So it's kind of hard to follow along with like their plot, the characters, like their motives, like how they originated, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, have you noticed that most horror movies in general aren't all that well written?
Like not a good story, kind of like.
Yeah. Like the characters aren't really fleshed out. The story is kind of like from point A to point B. And it's just kind of, there's a lot of gaps like in between.
It focuses more on like sight and sound, kind of like the sound that comes,
jump scares,
yes,
stuff like that. Yeah. Like there's not a lot of story building in a lot of like horror. It's like it's always your typical, oh, they start in school or they're at home and the haunting starts happening at home, or like, you know, they're in like they don't really expand on it. There's no depth to a lot of these characters because really the main attraction is the horror part, like the jump scares.
Yeah.
But the issue again with horror movies is that once the villain or the main scare has been revealed, horror movies take a rapid nosedive.
Right.
Because now that scare factor is gone.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like you can't play it out for too long, because then people are like, okay, just like, I know it's coming, wrap it up, bring the scare to me. But you can't do it too soon, because then
you lose the crowd.
Yeah, then it's done. So why was I saying this? I lost my train of thought.
No, you were saying because like it doesn't have a lot of story.
Oh yeah, so
the story is mainly bland.
Yeah,
for most of them.
Yeah, so Halloween doesn't really have much of a story, but I was reading up on a lot of the lore and stuff like that on Michael, and so let me see if I can bring it up really quick.
Yeah,
but in the beginning, he was, so as you know, like obviously he killed his sister, and the infant Judith was still alive. So he kills his sister, brings the baby out.
Yeah.
And the police come, stuff like that. But in this lore that they talk about is that he actually had nightmares, and he was being told, like in his nightmares, by something to hate people and to kill other people. So then that eventually started wearing on his mind, and then he ended up taking on that like persona, whatever that thing that was talking to him, that demon that was talking to him or whatever, that was talking to him and telling him to do a lot of those things, and he started acting out on those things. And then he was taken to the insane asylum.
Wow. So
yeah. So
he did get, I guess he suffered trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, they don't really go. See, they could have went that route, but they didn't really explore that.
Expanded on that.
Yeah. They kind of just said that he just was having nightmares of.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like Michael was like, he was like a kid. He was a person like you and I, and then some things happen. Like he wasn't born that way, but like he got into nightmares. Like the process was that, you know, something was talking to him, and then he turned into what he is now.
Yeah. Long story short.
Right. Long story short. Now you fast travel to people that don't necessarily suffer or went through what he went through, but now can be that persona by just putting on a mask.
So now you're relating it not per the movie, but per like real life, right?
No, because I'm still talking about the movie.
Okay.
I'm still talking about the movie because like in the third movie, remember how they put the mask on?
Oh yeah. Like yeah. So you're saying like, so Michael isn't really the true embodiment of like he's like anybody could be Michael Myers.
Yes,
it just depends who has the mask. and who's like being tempted with that
or
that
imitation.
power.
Yes.
Yeah, with that power.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Like it could be influenced by just that character alone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. But you said an interesting point. Like, yeah, it happens in the movie, but could we relate that to like real life?
Yeah.
You know, and that like the power of character is something that's big. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Halloween. When I was a kid, I don't know if when you were a kid, like you put on a mask for Halloween. Yeah. For example,
I think everybody's put on a mask at at some point. Not me though, because I don't.
And you feel different. Yeah. You kind of feel like
hidden.
Yeah, and with that comes this slight freedom. Yeah. You know what I mean? That you can do.
It's like no one knows who I am. I can get away with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So in a way,
I'm gonna stay at past 9.
That's it.
And no one will know.
And like, so maybe that's what got Michael into doing the things like actually, or let's say that demon, quote unquote, was talking to him, right? But he still identified himself as like a person that everybody could see. Sure. Right. But let's say he put on a mask and he felt that freedom that everybody feels when they're celebrating Halloween. Okay. But his freedom went way overboard to actually reveal what he was actually thinking of doing to people.
Yeah. Like his persona started kind of like leaking past the mask. Like instead, well, so the mask almost became an excuse for him to kind of exercise those internal thoughts.
Yes. And we don't see that only in Michael Myers, but like you could see that in The Purge.
Oh, you know? yeah. People's true nature and true temptations, like they're hidden behind. They're hidden, and until they're given it an instance where they're allowed to show who they really are. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And like it gets you thinking. Like, imagine what if everything is like this? Yeah. You know how when you're exposed, like right now, when you're exposed out in public, whether you're in school, at work, you want to go by community standards or society standards. Yeah. To, I guess, not suffer consequences. Right. You know, like not go to jail, not get killed.
Yeah. But if you wear a mask, you don't know it was that person. I mean, there's like a whole kind of thrill. You know, it's actually kind of similar to you know that like what happens to people who are very sheltered in their growing up, and then they end up going to college. Mm-hmm. You know that, and then they kind of end up going wild, right?
Yes. A lot of them. So sometimes you see the like a few that.
Yeah, it's not everybody, but it's sometimes that. Yeah, sometimes that. But like, I guess you can kind of relate it to that in a way. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's this limiter that you're kind of when you're kind of confined to a certain space. You feel very limited. Mm-hmm. And when those shackles are taken off, you kind of don't really know what to do. So you kind of just do everything. Right. You know? And a mask kind of gives you that mentality. Yeah. It's like, you know, you're going to college, new people, they don't know who you are. You don't know who they are. So you can kind of just run wild. Yeah. With almost no repercussions. And a mask kind of gives you the same exact thing.
And it's funny because, like, have you ever thought of, like, you ever put on a mask and can you be Justin with a mask? Like, or could I be Pedro with a mask, with a mask still on? Like, if I had a mask, can I still be Pedro? Like, just act out normal?
Or would you be a completely different person?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, have you seen the movie Face Off?
Oh, with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta? Yeah.
Right. So it's like, in the way they do, you showing them the. That sounded wrong. Oh, that was a good one.
Do it again. It's more like a. Your face looks just... Nah, see, you're not doing it right. That's why I'm in charge of the pops. That's why
whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, what were Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off. Nicolas Cage, John Travolta.
Right. And so they have I'm thinking of tissue paper. So with having a new face on, they're, oh wait, I'm not myself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're not yourself anymore, you become your thoughts.
Yeah.
So like, let's say, when people say, oh, I'm fucked up, because you know that what they be thinking.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking like when, oh, I'm fucked up. I had a lot to drink.
No. It's like,
but that's another thing too. Drinking.
Ooh.
Because it removes a lot of times when you're drunk, it removes a lot of limiters.
You're under the influence.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Well, I think that's when you're your truest self.
Where you're under the influence.
Yes. That is when you're your truest self. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of social anxiety of being like yourself. Like, just speaking for myself, not for anybody else, but speaking for myself, like when you go out, like, I'm very focused on like, am I saying the right thing? Am I saying the right conversation? Am I doing the right thing?
Right.
Blah, blah,
That's
blah.
a good point.
But when you drink and you're kind of intoxicated, all that kind of goes out the window. You don't really like think too much about like, oh, this sentence here, like, should I say it or should I not say it? You kind of just say it.
Wow.
If it's funny, you say it. Like in your mind, you think it's funny. Like it removes some limiters on that you place on yourself to contain yourself, to shackle yourself to a more constrained version.
So it gives you the feeling of wearing a mask.
Yeah, in a way. Well, I would say yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Because you could say that, like, when you're wearing a mask, you're under the influence of the mask.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you're hidden.
Yeah. So when we say The Mask, we're not talking about Jim Carrey's The Mask, right?
Oh, but he's a different persona when he's wearing it.
He is a different persona.
I mean, you can connect all the dots.
He is. And is he really is that just really an excuse for him to let out his own impulses?
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like a lot of these movies just have like a deeper meaning.
Yeah.
That like for and I kind of want to go off of another thought that goes with all this. Like,
no more thoughts.
Going back to Michael, bro, because we've been drifting. You know what I mean? We've been drifting.
I drift. This is Mario Kart.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
You can't beat me.
I beat that.
You know what? I digress. You can.
Yeah, I
can.
Really I beat you multiple times.
So. Everybody can beat me in Mario Kart.
I
just play it because it's fun.
You're trash.
I am.
Yep.
But, bro, like, have you ever heard of the like the prison planet theory?
No, I'm serious. Prism or prison?
Prison.
No.
Like, there's a theory that we're on Earth and we're just quote unquote in prison because we have to pay for what we did, and that's why we can't find aliens because they have shunned us from
existence.
Yeah, but
blah blah blah.
That's basically.
Where did you get this conspiracy theory from?
I don't know. I've just on the internet, YouTube. Like I've just heard it multiple times. So apparently, in this prison planet, we know we exist, but we're shunned from like galactic society.
Do they eat tissue paper there?
Bro,
I'm sorry, I can't. I can't
what
resist.
What are you talking about?
I can't resist it. I gotta say it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll bleep it out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll bleep it out.
I don't know.
We also forgot. But we also forgot to say that this is a Spooktober episode. We forgot to say that in our last episode, but this is a Spooktober episode special. So, but let us know if you want us to keep doing fall related stuff for the remainder of at least November.
We're going anyway.
Oh yeah. We're always going there. Anyway.
Okay. So
don't sound so tired of doing this shit.
I'm not tired. I'm not tired of doing this shit. I actually want to, the prison planet theory, bro.
Okay.
Is big, right? Because what if we are thought and we're just like prisoned by our body,
We are.
right?
We are.
So now look at, at Michael and what was it, first movie of the reboot or the newer ones
Yeah.
where he's in prison.
When he's just standing there.
Yeah,
and
he's
trying
just
to get him to talk.
He's just standing there.
Yeah.
And like, people.
And then he pulls the mask out of the bag and he's like, "Do you see this? Do you feel this, Michael?" And like all the people around him, all the inmates around him, like they're all in the insane asylum as well, and they all start reacting.
They start going crazy.
They start shaking and hissing and hollering.
Yeah,
and it's
bro.
it sends like a whole.
I like
vibe.
that scene.
We'll place that scene up right there.
Yeah,
You can't do the pops.
I can.
You don't know how to do the pops. Stop doing the pops.
Bro. Practice makes perfect. Practice.
You can't do the pops, Pedro. Like the pop that you don't know how to do them.
There we go. But anyways,
We'll be right back.
So he's in prison.
Yeah.
And people come up to him and he's like, Michael, he got the suitcase, and I guess he's obsessed with him or something. I don't know.
He's a psychiatrist,
right?
And he's trying to he's like, I feel like I can rehabilitate Michael because I think I finally understand him now.
Yeah. So but he's in prison, and he in that movie he later gets out, and then he does what he does.
Runs a disco.
Yeah.
And he dances.
Exactly.
The disco is a pumpkin, of course.
It has to be.
Yep. It's the only thing.
So imagine if this is a prison planet and we go back to wherever we were, right? And now we don't have to hide in our identity or community standards, and we could do whatever we want. And we have no consequences.
I mean, you can kind of do that now.
Huh?
You can kind of do that now.
Nah. You definitely have some consequences.
100%.
Like, it'll be some crazy.
100%.
But it would be kind of scary to know people's thoughts, especially if you see all these documentaries, people that have normal lives that you would think that they would do nothing like this.
Yeah.
And then, wow, all of a sudden they unalive somebody or something like that.
Well, that was kind of like, I think I told you about the worst roommates ever. I think I told you about that.
You did.
There was one episode that actually gave me, I was like, man, I don't know if I can trust my girlfriend anymore. Maybe I can't room with her anymore.
I told you couldn't.
No. Yeah, I know. She's not very trustworthy. No. But basically, I'll just simplify the story. And you guys should 100% check this out if you guys have Netflix. But essentially, there was this elderly woman who ended up buying a house. She ended up losing her job, couldn't afford the house anymore. So she worked at some grocery store. I can't remember the name of it. And so she started putting out a listing for roommates on eBay, which rule number 1, you never put out any type of roommate listings on eBay.
Bro, eBay.
And she never did any background checks on any of these people. So, I mean, that's
a random number
person. 2. Just most of there's more to the story, but there's one guy that she ended up having as a roommate. And he ended up doing weird things around the house. Like he would defecate in the tub.
Spoilers?
Yeah, I guess spoilers.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert! Right here.
I like that.
So if you're gonna watch it. But it is a really cool thing. But anyway, she has. So maybe I won't reveal the spoiler, but she has this one roommate. It's kind of weird. Does a lot of crazy, weird things, and eventually, she just tries to get him out of the house, and things go the wrong direction. But that's needless to say that it's you think you know someone in air quotes. But in actuality, you don't really know what someone's going to do until they're backed against the wall. And there's a Ed Kemper?
Ed Kemper?
Ed Kemper.
No.
He is a serial killer, real life serial killer. This is super, super morbid. Okay. So if your little ear holes can't tolerate this, you should, skip ahead 15 seconds, 20 seconds. But Ed Kemper, look him up. He is a serial killer who, at the age of 13, 15, ended up killing his mom. He cut her head off, and he ended up penetrating her neck hole with his penis, with his dick.
Wow. At 15.
Yeah.
Bro, that's some evil shit.
Yeah. That's Ed Kemper. But the thing is, and I'm just saying this from the perspective of Mindhunters, the Netflix series that I watched that had him in it. Yeah. They portrayed him as very intelligent. Like he knew he did something wrong. He just didn't have the emotional capacity, like the sympathy or empathy, to like truly feel that he knew he did something wrong, and he had not regret, but like he understood that, but he didn't fully feel any remorse for what he did. Now that could lead into back to Michael, right? Mm-hmm. So his whole motive was he killed his mom because of the shame that she put him through. She would always call him. She would like not call him a man. She would like beat him sometimes.
Michael's mom.
Yeah. So like she would do a lot of stuff to him and call him certain things, and like eventually that built up a lot of resentment. He never knew how to like handle women or anything like that. So he had this strong resentment for women. But if you look at his case, he only killed women of a certain like caliber. He only killed women. He never killed men. As far as I know. I might be wrong about that, but yeah.
Holy shit.
So his whole motive was his mom. His mom literally like put him in that rejected his natural tendencies, which were just like whatever they were. It wasn't anything like bad, but rejected his tendencies, would mentally abuse him and sometimes physically abuse him, and that ended up leading him to become the notorious serial killer that he is known for today.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah, just set up some nice Spooktober vibes right there, baby.
Yeah, I like that.
Give me a knife and a pumpkin, and I'm gonna carve one out for the boys.
Hey, I did that.
Yeah,
I did that. What?
Okay,
last week.
You're gonna keep looking over here. No, but yeah.
Wow. So, talk about pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
Freaking, I went last week to the pumpkin patch.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was pretty good. We went with family, bro. That was like a jungle. Like it was like they were all over.
Yeah.
They were high up too.
Did you get a second pumpkin and carve like a hole?
Like a hole?
Yeah.
No.
Like for the nose.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For the nose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I went
warm or cold?
Huh?
So you went and how was it?
It was good. It was good. I went with my daughter. My daughter. She said she wanted a unicorn carved on it, but she's like 3, so
yeah,
she can't really. I mean, she carved a little bit, but not that much. I ended up doing the unicorn for her.
So in other words, you slapped a pumpkin out of her hand. You said, "We're not doing any pumpkin, or we're not doing any unicorns. We're doing a scary unicorn, but we're not doing a unicorn."
That's what I wanted to do. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The temptation was there to do that, but I caught myself, and I'm like, you know what?
A unicorn, bro?
I didn't.
You're teaching your daughter to go for unicorns already?
I know, bro, but sometimes you just have to do the stuff for the kids, bro. For the kids.
Do it for yourself.
For the kid. Look.
Okay. She's cute. That's a pretty dope unicorn, bro.
You like that, Joe? You like that, Joe?
Can we pop it up?
Pop it up.
Well, do you want me to take your daughter out?
Look at it lit up. You can show this one.
Okay. What's up?
Right there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta send it to me now because you won't send it.
I'm gonna send it to you right now, Brody.
Right now. Not the MacBook.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Text message.
All right, bet.
There you go. But yeah, man. And now we've been talking a lot about, how mask influence you to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess to expose yourself.
Yeah.
Your true intentions. Here
I am,
your true thoughts.
Exposure.
And bro, like you got Michael, you got Ghostface, you got Jason, Batman. Now this could go either way.
Well, let me throw something out here.
What's that?
That I kind of thought about earlier, and I wanted to wait until we got to this point.
What's that?
It's not just the villains. It's not just in horror movies that these villains or slashers are wearing masks to hide from themselves or hide from the world, I guess. Hide their true identity from the world so they can unleash their true selves. But it's also the heroes.
That's what I'm thinking, bro.
Yeah. The heroes want to hide their true selves so that way they can
protect other people.
But is it really not to just live life in a state of freedom?
Say that again.
But is it not really just to live in a state of freedom? I mean, look at Spider-Man, for example.
He's not free.
He's not free. He's bound by the mask, but he's also bound by his limiter of not being able to let either one go. Because he realizes that the mask has a lot of responsibility to it. Responsibility, right?
Right.
And his normal life has a lot of responsibility. But what does he give into more?
What?
He gives into the mask more than he gives into his normal life.
True.
Why?
Because I feel like I'm trying to find an answer. But I think he respects the mask and what it means more than his own life does.
He does, which means he values the mask and who he is when he's with the mask.
Yes.
Not as much as who he is without it.
Michael does the same thing.
Exactly. You define yourself by the mask, not by who you are without it.
Yeah.
Because without it, it's just like, man, I can't do anything. People see my face.
Yeah.
I need to hide myself. I need to like conceal myself.
Yeah. So the mask is what you're trying to say. The mask is always going to be there. There's no in between.
The mask always takes precedence over like your own without it.
So I guess it's what you use the mask for.
Yeah, that's the true like focus. You know what I mean?
But what I love about like somebody like this is taking a turn and a meaningful turn, right? What about Superman?
Superman, who doesn't wear a mask.
Doesn't wear a mask. Doesn't give a fuck.
He has the dumbest.
But if you think about it, he's truly invincible. I mean, he got the kryptonite, but
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But logically speaking, Superman is unbeatable.
I have to say this, but I don't know how in the comic universe people don't put two and two together. Clark Kent and Superman, they're
separated by glasses
and curly, like a curly.
Yeah, right. Thing. But like, Superman doesn't need a mask. You know, Tony
Stark doesn't need a mask. He has one, but like, people know that he's
and that's the thing. Like, I feel like people who don't need a mask, right, are not bound by fear. People who are bound,
it's the fear of themselves, fear that they can't control themselves, so they use that as a means.
No, I really think they're not bound by fear. People who don't wear a mask are not bound by fear. People who are bound by fear are bound to the mask.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Look, I'm gonna try to make you agree. Peter Parker is bound by the mask.
He's bound by the mask
because he's fearful that something wrong is going to happen to his loved ones.
Sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. And let's say Michael Myers, Jason, all these people, right? Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean like people who have villainous intent. And I'm not talking about the movie because the movie gets crazy.
Doom. Victor Von Doom. He has a mask.
Yeah, he does.
But
I think
people know that he's Doom. I think people know Victor Von Doom is Doom.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they do.
I don't know.
Maybe they do, but I don't know. But
yeah.
I mean, it will make sense. But like, I feel like people who has villainous intent and they have a mask on are fearful of the consequences they're going to suffer if they're unmasked. Mm-hmm. Right?
Because then they can be held accountable.
Right.
For their actions.
And then the people who would wear no mask, right? They're not bound by the mask, but they're not bound by the mask because they don't have to wear it, and they're not bound by fear. Mm-hmm. You get what I mean?
Well, what about Iron Man? What about Iron Man?
What about Iron Man? What was that?
what?
Why did you go like this, bro? What was that? You tried to be Iron Man, didn't you? You thought you was gonna fly up. You thought you was brothers are not.
He's gonna die now. No, but Iron Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about him?
His whole origin, right, is the fear of his weapons being misused for harm or killing other people, right? There comes a point where he obviously doesn't. People know that he's Iron Man.
Yep.
Okay. But there are still things that he's fearful. He's still fearful of his technology falling into the wrong hands.
Okay.
Right. But people know he's Iron Man. He still wears the mask, obviously, because that's his power.
Yeah.
You know. But at the same time, he can't separate himself. He's not Iron Man without it, and he's not Tony Stark without it. That I guess
with the mask. You mean the mask?
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is the line between Tony Stark and Iron Man is they're the same. They're not different. Whereas like if you look at, Batman, Bruce Wayne and Batman, two separate people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's when you start aligning yourself as like you truly embrace your behaviors as one and the same.
Yes.
Instead of
the exact same
ripping
thing.
them apart and discerning them as two separate things.
Yep.
Because Iron Man technically doesn't really do that. Batman.
You don't think?
No, he doesn't. Because he's still the same Tony Stark in the suit.
That's what I mean. Okay. Maybe I he doesn't change. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still the same.
Which is badass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers.
You wouldn't know because we don't see him.
There's moments where he doesn't have the mask, and he doesn't really do much.
Exactly.
But he does have moments where he grips people up when he doesn't have the mask.
Right.
And he kills them anyway, and then he puts the mask back on.
But he depends more on the mask than anything.
Yeah. Because he'll kill anybody with anything. He'll kill them with his bare hands. He'll kill them with like a machete. He'll kill them with anything he can find around. He'll kill them with, unalive them with.
Bro, this conversation is really interesting, bro.
Yeah.
It's got to I guess it got like deeper than what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's worthy of exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got to get a treasure map, find the X that marks the spot, dig up the treasure a little bit, dig into the psyche a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about people that are in between?
People that. Who have a struggle to fight.
Like low key. Say that again.
I was gonna say it's people who struggle to discern between themselves without the mask and with the mask. Like, is that what you mean?
No. Like people who are a different person with the mask and then a different person without the mask.
Right. People who struggle struggle with the mask or without the mask, and flourish with the mask, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like those people are not always like like for me, like Iron Man, right? Like it's badass. It's something that it's honorable that he's the same person with and without the mask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So would you say that's honorable from Michael Myers the same way?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because he's true. He's true to himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like he doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like he's the same person without the mask. He has the same intentions without the mask, and then with the mask he has. And with the mask he still has the same intentions, which makes him an icon.
Sure. Right.
With it, and it feels fucked up to say this, to make Michael Myers an icon, but it happens too with like real life serial killers. Serial killers, they do fucked up shit, but people idolize them. in a way that like, wow, like it's kind of worth exploring.
Like, what do you mean idolize them? Like, do you mean
not idolize them? It's more of like worth of exploring and like knowing about, like people are curious about, like
it's more of like an interest. Like it's like, oh my god, like I
yeah,
want to get in
bro,
their
that's
mind.
a whole
like,
genre.
Yeah,
that's like some of people's hobbies is straight up just digging into thrillers and real life scenarios.
Yeah.
And they find that entertaining. They find that exciting. But and you wouldn't think that would be, I guess, worthy of being something like that, because if you want to create a legacy, most people would be like, oh, I want to have a good legacy.
Mm-hmm.
But then people have bad legacies, you know, like Jeffrey Dahmer and
who's that?
I'm not the best guy to ask, but you know, like if you want to see the,
I'm kidding.
I mean, but you know, if you want to find Jeffrey Dahmer on Netflix, I mean, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because I even saw it, but I'm not gonna lie, if he did those things on me or somebody that I know, I wouldn't want that to be glorified.
Right, but now I see what you're going for. It's like, but it is kind of being glorified. It is, but it isn't.
Yes.
It's like, hey, check out what this person did. It was very unique, and it was very unique. So, and it's very interesting, and it's very like the psychological aspect of it is very like intriguing.
Right.
So like, here's a documentary on it, and then it gets people talking. It's like, wow, can you believe he did this? This is not like, how could someone do that? But the thing is,
mm-hmm.
and I've had this conversation before, right? Actually, it's also from a song lyric. Anybody is a killer. All you have to do is push them to the limits.
Right.
And everybody has their own limit, right?
Yeah.
For some people it's here, some people it's here, and some people it's like here.
Yeah.
But the real question is, what would it take for you to get to that point of unaliving someone?
See, I wouldn't know.
Like, you don't know. Like, no one, you don't really know until you're put in that situation, right? And the thing is like, people, like, you know, you sit with your friends and you like, oh, like in this scenario, I would, you know, I'm using a different scenario, like a metaphor, but like, you know, you talk about what I would do with $500 million. Like, you could fantasize about what you would do with $500 million, but you don't know actually what you would do with $500 million until
you have it.
It's the same thing with like, if you were in a car accident, you say like, yeah, the best way to respond to somebody who's in a car accident is you would do this. But who knows? Your anger might control you and you might, you know, respond differently than how you think you might respond. It's all about your experience and how you actually interact in that time.
Yes.
You only know how you'll react in that moment.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm getting at is like, you know, and this is what makes it even more real. So, you know, we always come on, man.
Bro, you fighting them gnats, bro. You winning though. You're winning.
Yeah, I've killed like 30 of them
You're
already.
Like undefeated as hell.
I have a heavy belt.
Heavyweight champ of the world.
Heavyweight champ. I can't talk.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is like, you know, we all like, you know, we're like, man, I want to get into the mind of Jeffrey Dahmer or Ed Kemper or any other serial killer.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, a lot of them they lack empathy and sympathy, so they don't mentally can't connect. You know, as average citizens, we have that to a degree. Obviously, some people have it less, some people have it more. But the thing is like, what the limit was for them was a set bar, like I just explained earlier.
Yeah.
But you and I are just as capable of doing that.
Yeah, you're completely right.
Which makes it even more real. Like, you and I are just as capable as anyone else to commit any type of unaliving.
Yeah.
Right? And that is a cold, hard truth.
And I want to go even deeper into this.
Okay, let me get my shovel really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Start digging.
Okay.
All right. So while he's digging, well, that's some good action right there. Yeah. Keep going. It's like that. Okay. But now, So you know how people glorify these serial killers, right?
Sure.
And they want to
In a
dive into the mind of
Pedro there.
yeah, okay. They want to dive into the mind of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Well, I actually want to dive into the mind of the person thinking that, right? Because why do you want to dive into that? If you get what I mean, like, and it just goes to show that everybody has intrusive thoughts.
Oh,
like,
I mean,
when you're driving and you're raging over somebody that just cut you off. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes you be thinking of stuff that you shouldn't be thinking about. Yeah. Maybe some Jeffrey Dahmer shit. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, like you said, going to your point, they might be thinking, what pushed them? And it's like
something as simple as somebody getting cut off.
Because they have felt something like that, but they haven't been pushed to that limit. You know, but it goes both ways, bro. The thing I want to explore, right, is why is that glorified more, right, than, and by I mean that is the mind of somebody who's bad or evil with the mask and evil without the mask. Because these people, they interview them and they have the mask off and they are still evil without the mask. That's worthy of exploring. Right? Yeah. But then you have the other extreme side of the spectrum, right? Let's say people that are good with the mask and people that are good without the mask, to the point where they sacrifice themselves for somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Like, for example, let's look at people that received the Medal of Honor. A lot of them are not alive today because they usually sacrifice themselves for their friend or for a comrade that, let's say, they died in battle or something like that, but they thought their comrade was more worthy of living than them, then they just threw themselves on top of a grenade. And, you're worthy more of living than me. Yeah. Right? You see more of this glorified, but not enough people exploring the other side as well. Because people that are good with the mask and good without the mask, let's say an Iron Man, that's worthy of exploring too, but you don't see it as popular as glorifying what evil is. Yeah. You don't see it as, I guess, entertaining or as exciting.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, they just used it to save somebody.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's like, I want to see why somebody was able to, like I said, cut off their own mother's head and then do what he did to her body, and all it's like, oh well, the way that he was tracking down certain people and like it was like the intricacies of those types of things. But it's like, oh, I threw myself in front of somebody else to save him. It's like, well, where's the story behind it?
You can't. That has more mystery than the serial killer's mind, in my opinion.
See, humans love train wrecks.
Yeah, bro.
They love a train wreck. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah, well, me too, bro. Like, sometimes I find myself like, damn, well, I kind of want to know what's going on,
Because, okay, have you ever driven past, like, a police officer on the highway? Like, you ever notice that the traffic is always moving slower, but nothing really happened, but you always slow down just a little bit just to like turn and look to see what happened. Especially if somebody's getting arrested, you're like, let me slow down just a little bit more so I can see this person get arrested, or let me take a video, because you want to see what happens. You want to see that train wreck. When somebody's doing something good, it's like, it's cool.
That's crazy.
But I want to see this bad thing happen to this other person, because you know what? It's really messed up. Like I said that specific thing, but it's really messed up. But if you think about it, I think, and I'm no psychologist, but I think, like, overall, people have so much bad happen to them that when something else is happening to somebody else, it's a change for a perspective. It's like, it's in a way, it's like, man, it's kind of nice. I'm not saying the people are saying this, but it's my guess.
It's a possibility. Yeah.
I was like, maybe, it's, they're on the opposite side of it now. I'm not like, the one. I'm glad I'm not there. Yeah. It's like, I could be there, but I'm not there. Yeah. And so,
like saving their own ass.
Yeah. It's almost like watching through like a window. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, if you envision yourself in that position, You can envision yourself in that position without actually being in that position.
Yeah.
Just like, man, I wonder what it's like to be arrested.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to wonder what it's like to be arrested because this person did it for me.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go through that.
And I don't blame us, you know, because we're all alive in this world. We kind of have questions about where we're going.
I don't have any questions at all.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. Or where we're going or how it's gonna end. But like, I don't blame anybody because like I have the same feelings as everybody, right? But
no, you don't.
that shit just it just screams fear.
Yeah.
You know, fear.
Yeah.
But the person who did the other act was fucking fearless.
Yeah.
Of like, I don't care if I die.
Yeah.
I'll just do it.
Especially when you're an immortal monster like Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the question, I guess the real question is, how can we get through Michael and make him settle down?
Yeah, how can we get through Michael and make him settle down? What would you say to Michael? Like, let's say if you found him in the prison and all the other inmates are in the asylum were going like this and then
Is that a ghost or?
I don't know. What would you say to Michael to be like? And then what would you say to Michael that would make him be like, you know what, bro? You're right. Let's go sit down at McDonald's and eat some. I'm hungry.
He seems like more of a Burger King guy.
Hell no. He's McDonald's.
No, Burger King, 100%. 100% Burger King. It's a real burger.
He's too tall for Burger King. I feel like
he's
it has to be McDonald's, bro. It has to be McDonald's.
No.
It has to be McDonald's.
You know what I would say to him?
What would you say to Michael?
I would look him dead in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, Michael, I understand. And he would be like,
you don't understand shit, bro.
He'd be like, you know, I never thought of that, actually.
Yeah, okay. I never thought of what you understanding, bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you saying?
He'd be like, you know what? You want to go out for a bite? You want to go out and get some Burger King? And I'm like,
no.
And I would look at him and I would say, I would love to.
And that's it. Happy ending.
And happy ending. He doesn't kill anybody anymore. But the thing is like, maybe he could be a cow slaughterer. Maybe he could slaughter cows. Get his own, you know, his own satisfaction from killing cows. You're still killing something.
If you were a butcher, right? And then they come to you, bro. It's like, yo, we have Michael Myers here.
Like,
he's trying to be a better. And it's like,
I gotta go, man.
Would you let him work in your butcher shop?
He could work there, but I gotta go.
I'll be out.
I'm not working there. Sorry. You can work here, but I'm not gonna stay here.
You think Michael would settle down for a butcher shop?
I think that's what he does in his off time.
Ain't no way.
He butchers livestock, so, you know, of his own kind. So why wouldn't he do that for like a cow?
You think he has a sense of humor?
100%. I think every time he kills somebody, he laughs. He's like,
I know he be laughing when he be standing like on the corner and just looking at them and they start running. I know he laughs.
He's like, you damn motherfucker. I'm right here.
And he starts walking.
Like, hello. Whatever.
Hey, yo.
And then he's just like, you should have saw that one coming. They even had the music playing in the background and you still didn't know. Or when somebody's tripping over themselves.
Oh, he be laughing.
Oh, he's laughing.
100%.
He's laughing. Absolutely.
I think he slows himself down and stuff.
He's just like, all right, I'm coming after you. I'm going to get you. You going to get up? You going to get up or I'm going to chop you in half?
What do you think he eats?
Burger King, like I said.
No. I can't eat.
Bro, Michael Myers gives me, I drink apple juice out of a carton with a straw vibes.
Hell, with a straw?
With a straw.
Nah, he drink it straight.
You know the little juice box, right? Little apple juice box.
Without a straw.
He drinks it with a straw.
He be squeezing the shit out of it.
No, he drinks it with a straw.
Oh, he has to because of the mask.
Because the mask. He cuts a little hole right in the mouth and he sips on it.
Dude, I don't know. What would I say to Michael to make him settle down?
What would you say?
I'd be like...
You'd lick your lips?
Yeah, I have to. I'll give him a chair. sit down.
I don't think he doesn't strike me as.
Dude, he has to sit down.
He doesn't sit down. He doesn't strike me as a guy who sits down.
I don't think I've seen Michael sit down in a movie.
He doesn't sit down.
He has to sit down. I'll give him. Maybe that's what he needs.
His legs are just really tired.
He's always been looking for a chair, and never has been able to sit down in a chair.
He's like, man, I would love a real ergonomic gaming chair.
Yep.
Michael just gaming.
The first time he sits down.
He's really into Roblox.
This is. I can see that.
Yeah, he's super into to Roblox.
I can see that. I feel like online gaming will change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to go and game right now. Not gonna lie.
Trying to?
Yeah. Let's go game.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Let's get out.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the latest episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. We have been your spooky pod boy hosts, Justin and
Pedro.
And
it's been real.
Yeah, whatever, guys. We're gonna go play games now. So
yeah, let's get out of here, buddy.
We'll see you on the next one. I guess, whatever.
You wanna set it up? They don't. They don't.
I mean, you're not lying, man.
They don't.
You're not lying.
You should keep that.
Yeah.
You should keep that. They don't.